Welcome on in, everyone. Thank y'all for being here. Really appreciate it. Welcome on in, Iliano, Cynic, Deval, Katsai. Glad to have you, Sweet Beans. Welcome on in, Kronos. Glad to have you too. Welcome on in, Oceano and Fine Point. Welcome on in. It is... It's not Monday. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yesterday was Monday. If it's not clear, my day is going. Just sparkling. Just beautiful. So why did the Borbs taste like tap water? Good question. I did leave the faucet on, and they probably got in there. As the Borbs are wont to do. Listen, you give a bird some water, the bird's gonna splash around with it whenever it decides to. I drenched him. Casa, why did you drench the Borbs in tap water? You couldn't even shell out the money for the sparkling Perrier. what's the incredibly expensive water that one Manosphere guy drinks, the one he soaks his face in ice water in the morning and then hovers in the air for 4 minutes. It's actually hose water. Oh yes, I see. Saratoga, there we go. Saratoga, that's the one. I don't know how. I can't imagine any amount of water. Hold up a moment. How immediately starting streaming, getting distracted. How much does Saratoga cost? Also, thank you for the Borb. How much does Saratoga water cost? The Pricer. The Pricer.org cost study project. The retail cost for Saratoga water ranges from $2 to $5 per 16 ounce. That can't possibly be right. I feel like with how much I was expecting it to cost like way fucking more. Boobs? Welcome on, Blake. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. This is what I'm fucking here for. Yeah, this is a pack of 24. It's $38. That feels way too cheap with how much this man flexes it. A little bit. It's 13 cents per fluid ounce on Amazon. Saratoga natural spring water. My man was flexing 13 cents an ounce of water. Also, by the way, I stole some things from the lab to mod my Super Soaker. I can make someone experience water at a rate of 1 liter per second now. I'm not curious. I kind of want to do the math. Also, welcome on, Blake. Glad to have you, Sweeping. And I kind of want to do the math now to see if that's just like a water, pressure cutter. Also, I love the song Dubstep and Opera. Awesome. But yeah, we're working on this. We are working on the beanie piece. We probably kept refilling those bottles with tap water too. Yeah, it's like it clearly at some point you're like, you know what, you just refill the thing with tap water.
Rats.
What's up, Chris?
Where the rats?
Beep beep boop beep boop. Start digging in your butt, twin.
What does that mean? Welcome on in Cornflake Girl. Glad to have you, Sweepy. What does that? I am so genuinely confused by that. I'm aware of it. I don't understand it. It's a TikTok meme. TikTok's a mistake. I used to be on TikTok, and then it kept continuing to be a mistake. I'll be honest with you, I'd rather have stayed banned, to be 100%. Welcome on, Emerald. Glad you're Sweet Bean. Hey, Starkey, you're forgetting something? No. Welcome on, Emerald. Are you forgetting? No. I never forget anything. Has never happened. Did you? Oh, is that what the fucking the lasagna is full? Is that also a TikTok meme? Because like if that is a TikTok meme, then that's. I will also never forget about the never forgetting about the board drone Starkey. I didn't forget about those. I just didn't work on them. Actually, let me check real quick. How big are Beanie's ears? He got some ears. He got some. That is ear with a capital E. That is like this is approximately the size of his face. What about Bowser Day? I didn't have time to work on a Bowser Day thing. I'm gonna be honest. Starkey Brain's officially been poisoned. I mean, yes. My brain has been you could say that my brain's been poisoned, but to be fair, it hasn't been poisoned as bad as I would say most of chat members are. Okay, so this is a yet no year of Bowser.
Rats. Where rats?
What's up, Crisp?
Where the rats?
It has permeated my blood-brain barrier and it's wreaking havoc, and like a prion disease it cannot be stopped and it will liquefy my brain in 5 to 7 business days.
You know what? Fair enough. I respect it. Do I even want to know? Is this one of those things where it's like it's better if I don't? It's the fucking it's that one song from Panic at the Disco, but it's better if you don't. Okay, so this is gonna be me. I feel like I got the features all things relatively figured out. So now I'm just adding like details. Like this is the perpetual like. If I just iterate on the sketch every single time and fix all of the issues, eventually it will look good. Surely. Surely. Definitely. Actually, like, I kind of like how this hand ended up turning out. No Licky the Borb. Wait, whose lick emote is that even? Peachos. That's kind of a genuinely adorable emote. I think it's cool, like, how there's so many furry, like, streamers in the space that I'm constantly, like, learning about new people that isn't eating emote. No vor. No vor allowed. Banned. Bans you. I guess to be fair, like, this is, let's see, because this is like, this, you know, there's gonna be like um beans. Like, you know, it's bean knee Shiba. Like, you know, I'm gonna have to keep to keep the beans in here somewhere.
Rats. We're
What's up,
rats.
Chris?
We're the rats.
Also, POV, your friend locks eyes with you, opens their mouth, momentarily hesitates, before confidently saying "are the fart cone" and walking away. They were trying to say "oh no, I left my phone in the car." This actually happened apparently.
Ah, the fart cone. To be fair, that's definitely something I would bring up forever. I have this ongoing bit with my brother, where I just have like this idea for like the world's dumbest bit. So like, imagine you were talking with your friends, and then all of a sudden, like, your friend just like stops mid sentence, opens their mouth and burps, and then over the course of like 2 minutes, the burp goes from being a normal burp but continuous into a projectile vomit, slowly, almost imperceptibly, until at the very end it's just like a fucking fire hose. Stark, can you nuke my third song request? All right. The internet, we haven't met in person yet, but that's a lot like you to say. Is it Living in a Dream? Before they always end up wanting more. Starkey, what? Don't question me and the bits that me and my brother come up with. It's for your own well-being. Would she ever love me right? Only half a man, she's coming over here tonight, and truth be told, I'm terrified. There's nowhere left to hide the fact that I'm a half horse. I ran out of breath. That I'm a half horse, half man. I'm a half horse, half man. That's what I am. I love the truth, and she was actually pretty cool with finding out that I'm a horse. Okay, let's say like the person that you've been dating for like the last year and a half turned out to be half horse, and you weren't a furry. Are you know? Start running your breath. I'm half. Finding out that that's a lie. Says, babe, you've gotta hide. I either where I'm half a horse. Her dad opens the door and says, "Is that a half horse, half man?" I'm open-minded. Well, fair enough. We'll just half horseman in this context. See, the left half of the person is human. The right half is horse. Half horse the long way. Half horse the long way. I'm wondering how that would. You know what? I definitely should not learn how to do art like well enough to draw vertically divided man horse. Because how does that even fucking work? Do I have to extend the neck so that way it meets where the muzzle's supposed to be? I can't comprehend it. I don't think I want to. So is a centaur? Do they have two rib cages? I do like there's this cartoonist I follow whose name is Zach Wienersmith, which is a powerful name. He does Saturday morning breakfast cereal, and he made a point recently that there is exactly one phylum in the animal kingdom that has exactly 6 limbs, and thus horses are technically arthropods. Centaurs are arthropods, which means they probably have ovipositors. You're welcome for this information that nobody asked for. Do they have multiple? That's a good question. When in doubt, I will always point everyone to the recursive horse tar. It's half horse, half recursive horse tar. Starkey, do not add that to the Faradius. I mean, yeah, but bigger question: how do they fuck? Well, that's what the ovipositor is for. You see, you don't actually put the you know. I see now how I fucked this up. You know what? That's a fair silence if I've ever seen one. This might be the single fairest shut that's ever been used on me. That's deserved. That's deserved. But how's everyone's week going?
Do you like this? Do you like this? Well,
you know what? That's
more?
fair. My mom called, so I hopefully missed psychic damage. Where was I at? Oh yeah, that's right. Welcome on, Cornflake Girl. Hello. What was I thinking about? Did you forget? I did. Busy week at work, but I finally got around to open up art comms. Ooh, wait, Eliana, so you're taking up art, or you're taking on art commissions? That's awesome. I definitely know you do a lot of like you've clearly done a bunch of animated emotes with all the trains. I'm surviving. That's how my week is going. Don't forget. I'm assuming that that's like from like Google translated Deltrune or something. Just for the trains and some other emote art. That's fair. You know, you gotta start with simple stuff first. Don't do what I'm doing, where like the first thing you're doing for other people is like a massively complicated you know, a pretty over like pretty complicated, you know, piece. There we go. I love how I flashbang you with that a little bit. But yeah, no, work week has gone relatively well for me. Okay, I need to move this out more. But I did finally put in my application to the Canadian to like the what was it? It was yesterday that I put in my application to the expedited you know, like the Canada. Yes, I'm fully moving to Canada. Remember that one anime about how the animals evolved to have 6 limbs instead of 4, which led to the evolutions of centaurs and harpies? They also had another kimono mimes like fox people and mer people. Only furries were the snake skillies from the Arctic. But yeah, no, I'm officially in the process of trying to apply to move to Canada. I've got most of my paperwork set up. Fucking okay. I got a letter today, from the place that did. So one of the things I had to do was what's called an education credential assessment. Well, come on in, Gadget. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. I got a letter today from the place that did my education credential assessment. Basically, they look at my degree and they're like, yeah, this is the equivalent of a Canadian degree, or in my case, 2 degrees. And after taking a look at it, I realized that they so I went to Purdue University, which is where in Canada are you going? I don't know yet. Wherever I can find work is gonna be the big draw. But so I went to Purdue University, and if for those of you who aren't native to Indiana, there's like basically 2 big colleges that are like public: Indiana University and Purdue University. Those are like the 2 big ones. Maybe we can finally get the shiny stuff. Yeah, we'll see about that. That's gonna be a long-term goal. But yeah, no. So Indiana University and Purdue University. And then there's what's called IUPUI, which is Indiana University - Purdue University of Indianapolis, which is it's technically a separate entity to both Indiana University and Purdue University, and they said like, oh yeah, you were awarded your degree from that. And I'm like, no, I'm not. So I sent an email to be like, hey, you fucked it. I can you change this real quick? So that's probably gonna be something I have to wait for. Reasonably, if I had to guess where I'm gonna be relocating to, it's probably gonna be somewhere in Toronto. I am keeping an eye open for potentially moving to British Columbia as well. And then Quebec. Although I don't think I can move directly to Quebec because I don't speak French. Like I don't have like, I don't have like documentation to say like, hey, you speak fluent French. Thank you, Swariel. Girly Pop, you gotta learn the Canadian anthem to seem more receptive. Oh, Canada. If you end up Toronto, I'd be happy to give any advice I can. For sure. I guess like the big thing is just like trying to find work. Because like they have in order to like, move, they have like a minimum amount that they are like, okay, you're gonna want to have at least this amount of money. Oh Canada, our home on native land. But no, like they're like, yeah, you want to have like approximately this much money if you want to, move to Canada, because the idea basically being like, oh, that like you are relocating, so you want to be able to like get the stuff that you need to function day to day. And it's actually like, it was a little bit more than I was expecting. It's something analogous to like $1,100 in US. It's like 1,500, a little bit over 1,500 Canadian, which is more than I was expecting. And so I'm actually in the coming months, I'm gonna have to build up a little bit more of my savings. I'm like more than half the way there. But it means I'm gonna have to be even more frugal with what I spend money on, which sucks, but I had a world building idea where people have magic birthmarks. Things Mashal are the coloration of Jasper from Steven Universe, and they get access to a mind room where they can physically build magic spells in there. I decided some people have yarn hair and can channel spirits to TF, sometimes furry, sometimes biblically accurate angels. They don't want you to burden on the... Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like, don't get me wrong. I understand why the system is there. But also, like, it is one of those things where it's like, which is, it is to some degree funny, because I do think that number is probably like you're not bringing anything with you. When realistically, I would be bringing a car with me wherever I go. Like, I would have a car, and which means that I would probably also have like certain basics. I think I can fit my bed in my car.
Rats, we're rats.
What's up, Chris?
We're the rats.
birdathon to help you bird your way to Canada when.
I won't lie, the thought actually did occur to me that like that might be something like I need to do. Like the idea of like the idea of doing like a shit, what's it called? A like a fundathon actually like has occurred to me that like I might have to do that. Welcome on Akawar. Glad to have you, Sweet Bane. But yeah, no. So like that's, you know, probably Toronto because that's like closest to where I am, so it'd make it way easier for me to like move there. My suspicion is that because I know Toronto is like it's something of a economic center. It's like Toronto is very like, you know, I don't necessarily like, you know, there's I won't like put it in Toronto is Canada's New York. Yes. So it's one of those things where it's like, you know, do I really want to go there and you know, risk potentially like I've had the fucking worst luck with jobs, low key, so I'm very uncertain about the prospect of like, you know, what's up, Crisp?
Word of advice, don't go to Lethbridge, it's fucking garbage.
Oh no, I'm avoiding Alberta entirely. I'm gonna be honest with you. Alberta is like more or less completely off my radar. Is something that I will consider. I've had multiple people from Alberta be like, "Do not come here," and it's like, yeah, I'm probably good. Thank you though, because Alberta is basically Canada's Texas. At least you can visit Pop-Up more. Welcome on in, Hyena. Glad to have you, Sweet Bane. Thinking of moving to Montreal. Toronto is for its high cost of living would just offer more job opportunities and risk reward. That's the fucking thing. I don't want, like, I don't necessarily need a super high paying job. I want fucking like stable employment. That's like the big thing I want. How the fuck do I change the keyboard controls in Atomic Owl? Okay, hold up. Let me try something a little bit. Let me cook a little bit with this. Something more like that. Yeah. Starkey, but he morphin. Oh, he morphin all right. He really morphin. The weapon changing buttons are in the weirdest places. There should be like an option in settings. Like I'm pretty sure there is an option in settings to like let you Canada, but that's where all the liberals live. Yeah, and they seem to be doing a lot better for themselves than we are down here. So like, I'm fucking I don't give a shit anymore, man. I'm moving up to Canada.
Rats, we're the rats. We're the rats.
It's Starkey Morphin time.
That's my favorite quote. Who's an angry son? You're the angry son. That is a pretty good quote. But no, like
Rats,
so recently I met
we're
what's
the
Chris?
rats.
Stable job? What's next? Raising the minimum wage? Workers getting actual rights? In this economy? We can only dream, my comrades.
But yeah, no. That's however this quote fucking sucks. Nipples are not pants. What the fuck compelled me to say that? Where was I at? But no, like, you know, I'm in the process of low-key miss Amber Isles. I mean, to be fair, like the big thing with Amber Isle was like, you know, I will say it's difficult to do like long playthroughs on streams because it does the turnout does like kind of make it very demotivating. Which is why, like, you know, I like, you know, I'll still do them. It's just like I end up moving them to like one a week. There we go. But yeah, so like that's, you know, that's part of the process is being like, hey, okay, you know, let me go ahead and get the fucking. Let me go ahead and get like all of, you know, so like I have like all of my documents in. Admittedly, when I get the fixed version of my education credential assessment, I have to put that in. And then yeah, I gotta start actively searching for jobs. Which, you know, that's definitely something like, because like part of the idea, like part of the difficulty of like finding jobs in the first place is like I know I'm getting filtered out because like I have to answer like no, I can't legally work. So I don't know if like I can legally, you know, I'm excited for you if you're successful getting in. Hey Starkey, what's up? Care to explain? What kind of fucking heathen doesn't sour their cream of breast? No. I refuse to explain. I think it's funnier leaving it unexplained.
Will you get excited when you're in Canada and I break your arm, so you can go on the wee woo truck without going into any debt?
That will be nice.
We're rich. We're the rich.
What's up, Crisp?
If eyes are the windows to the soul, does that mean eyelashes are the curtains and eyebrows are the window frames?
You have no idea what it.
That's a good question. Anyways, here's a rotated shark. This is what I do to you in response to that question. But no, to be fair, like, you actually can like fight, EMT, like, prices stuff. Don't rotate my shark, rotates your shark. You actually can fight it here in the States. You just need to be able to prove that, like, you were in a sincere emergency where, like, you couldn't drive. When I had a heart incident, like a heart scare a few years back, I actually, like, I tried to drive to the hospital in the middle of having, like, you know, some kind of heart situation going on, which, you know, wasn't smart, but I also realized halfway through that it wasn't smart, and I called for an ambulance when I was, like, very clearly unable to continue. Because at some point I was like, at some point I reached like the level where I'm like, yeah, I can't drive more, so I should probably go, you know, call for PR.
If the rain is when God pees, what is the snow? Me as a child.
Don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. There we go. That looks more reasonable. There we go. But yeah, no. So like the process has officially begun. There's still a long way I need to go. Ideally, I would like to be out of my place because my my rental my lease runs out in February, so like ideally I would be gone by February, but realistically it's going to depend on when I can secure some work. So we will see. Isn't the rain the tears of God when they witness what humanity has done? Well, come on, Rasamari. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. It is to some degree fascinating now that I'm an adult and have like context for a lot of stuff. How much of like this shit I heard as a kid was like, oh yeah, rain is God's tears. It's like what. Now that I know about the concept of a thought terminating cliche, I'm like, that lines up a little bit weird. It's like don't question that. Don't question that. That's just God doing XYZ thing. I is here, Big Board. Welcome on in. Hold up. I actually like recently figured out how to draw arms. So this goes up here and then yes, so it goes like somewhere here. Speaking of Wordle, but also Pokemon on Raspberry. I was not asking sane questions, also my mom never took me to church for her own sake as a kid. Well, looks like someone forgot to do their daily Wordle. Welcome on, Eighth Wolf. How you doing, you sweet bean? I think I'm almost there. I think it's more like, yeah. Something like that. And then it's kind of like... There we go. Pokemon Vicarious. Good idea, Sweet Bean. I need a harder Wordle, longer words. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is like harder variations of Wordle out there. Welcome on in. I'm currently in the process of trying to draw a buff dog man. I think we remove you. I'm not. Hi there, gorgeous. Welcome on to Aether. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. But no, I'm not super duper enthused. Oh, now that I think about it, like, because this is... Hold up. Let me try to logic through this real quick. UPS delayed a package with a statue I've been waiting for. Oh, no. Also, you don't stream, do you, Vicarious?
Wretch, we're wretch. We're the wretch.
You know, where I'm from they just began doing direct flights to Canada. That means I don't.
It means that you don't have to like come here to the States. Honestly, smart. Especially because a lot of people don't understand / realize that Puerto Rico is part of the United States. I do stream, but only when I have time. Understandable. Lord knows, I'm the weird one for being able to like force myself to stream as much as I do. Okay, so it's very kidney shaped. Truly. Most Americans are fucking stupid. Hold up. Let me grab my like sketchbook real quick so I can use it for reference. I was actually like relatively happy with how one of my arms in my sketchbook turned out.
We're the wretch.
Fun fact, Starkey has not had any organs removed from his body.
I'm trying to think that
Wretch, we're wretch. We're the wretch.
Yet.
I don't think that counts. I have had wisdom teeth removed. I think teeth count as an organ.
Wretch, we're wretch. We're the wretch.
The awkward thing is I gotten comments I don't look Puerto Rican because I'm white Latino.
Oh,
They
for
say
fuck's
I look
sakes.
more American, okay, but I am American, so?
It's like, you are American. It's so fucking stupid. People are so frustrating. Okay, I see what I did. So it's almost like this, and then actually I more or less did it already. And then it's like you have this here, and then it kind of like goes up here, and then the idea basically being that like this ends up being that kidney shape that I'm always trying to like. And then yes, okay. We're on the same continent. Yes. That I don't know if that spelling was intentional or not. I choose to believe it wasn't, or it was, because that's funnier. You get either of the 3 big cities in Canada. You can look forward to public transit infrastructure, not having to drive all the time. That seems really fucking handy. Not if Canada has anything to say about it, as we'd move geographically to Europe. Yeah, I don't necessarily blame y'all. I quite literally will not argue with hard Arslar people. Like, holy shit, they're so fucking dumb. I think because I think so part of why I even referencing it like in like tangential
Wretch.
is like these aren't
We're
what's
the
up, Chris?
wretch.
If we ever go back to being with Spain, but independent, that be a dream. Give me the TU passport.
Wow. Listen, that man out here trying to fucking shortcut the process. I'm dying out here. I should get my passport. You really should. I got my passport 5 years ago. Actually, it's 6 years ago now. And suffice it to say, I think it's genuinely been a good decision. But no, I would also like to go to Europe at some point. To be fair, some Virgin Islands have EU passports. I will allow Virgin in this context. I want to say we put Virgin in there because just in case of like, you know, because there was like some like, I don't necessarily know how true it was, the idea of like people being deprioritized for like having that word in their chat. Which is like, I don't know. Nowadays I don't fucking trust Twitch, I think is like fundamentally the problem. I don't really trust Twitch as a platform. They've done a lot of shit where I'm like, yes, this is incredibly suspicious. The cats are nice, I'm just struggling to figure out how to clean. But yeah, no. So what are the big three cities of Canada? Toronto is presumably one of them. I imagine, because when I think Canada, I think Toronto, I think Montreal, and
Wretch. We're the
I actually don't know what the third one would be.
You may not trust Twitch, but do you trust me? Blushes in an ugly way.
No. Montreal, Vancouver, and Toronto. Okay. That Vancouver does make sense. I just straight up forgot about that. I need to remind myself I'm not making him too buff. God damn it. My fucking tendencies to be like, yes, he must be buffer. Honey, the entire southern region of Brazil refuses to accept their Brazilian and cling to their long past European heritage. I mean this sincerely as someone who is currently having to deal with the fallout. Stomp that shit out. Like, make the most fun of them you possibly can. Because that's fucking cringe. We were almost looking here. What's up, Chris?
We're the wretch.
Alright Starkey, it's geography time. Can you locate Vancouver on a map with no cities on it?
No. Absolutely not. I don't know. I do not know geography. It's actually like one of my worst disciplines. Starkey's going to be close to a friend of mine who lives in Montreal. I mean, that's one of the big reasons that would be drawing me to Quebec, is I actually have like a lot of friends that live in that area. You know, DA, Merle, Melon Speedruns. Those are the three that immediately come up. But I'm sure there's like a bunch of other Quebec. So if memory serves, is he still going by Cody, or is it Montbark? Because I could have sworn he changed his username to Montbark. Montbark? Okay. I did not realize that he was Quebecois as well. I know Merle was. Blur is also Quebecois, I believe. Which is wild, because you can't hear it in his voice at all. Blur has, like, no accent. I guess to be fair, neither does Merle. I call him Cozy because it's easier. That's fair. I usually try to prefer sticking to, you know, whatever name they have marked down just for like, oh, you know, just to make sure I'm like being respectful, because like if there's a name change, there's probably a reason. Although I you know, it's one of those things where it's like it might be a Monty for short now. Oh, okay, that makes sense. It was really fucking funny. It was really fucking funny. Cause so for a bit, Monty had his emote prefix set to Bussy. Somehow, some fucking how, Twitch didn't catch Bussy. All right, for the national anthem. All right. Hold up, we. There we go. Oh, welcome on in, Ronzu. Good idea, Sweet Pain. I hit the wrong button. Fuck, wow, I really hit the wrong button. God damn. I'm currently standing for the Canadian national anthem. Here's a shout for Ronzuko. Wrong. Shut up.
Wretch, wretch,
What's up, Chris?
we're the wretch.
What is this? This is not the red, white, and blue. This is blasphemy.
I mean, listen, it's not like heresy to stand up for another country's this little prefix is Bussy, is it? So it is. The rat, white and blue. But I did not realize that. So apparently it's still prefixed as Bussy. And one of the fucking funny things that came out of that was Merle has certain words. He has Starkey opposes menacingly. We do not need the blue. Yeah, we only need red and white. Starkey, you're getting. I'm planning on keeping my U.S. citizenship as long as I'm allowed to. You know, I wouldn't put it past the current administration to be like, all right, if you know, if you're not in the United States, you're just not a citizen anymore. I'm not gonna like actively forsake it, but. But yeah, no. Big question, are you going but yeah, Starkey opposes menacingly. But no, fucking so Merle has a bunch of like, because Merle's stream is PG-13. He's got a bunch of fucking words. He's got like a bunch of words like in his auto mod, because it's, you know, they're frequently used in furry streams, but he doesn't want them used in his stream. One of the words is Monty's prefix. So someone is in Merle's chat like, hey, I can't use Monty's emotes anymore. And Merle had to be like, yeah, we don't allow that word here. Which is funny because fucking Monty and Merle, I'm pretty sure, are like, they might not be close friends, but they're definitely at least friends. Like, I don't think that would be allowed anyway, forcing citizens outside the United States to announce their citizenship. I mean, you say that, but like, you know, how crime is just legal nowadays. That's the thing. That's the thing we got to remember. You know what? This is beginning to look a lot like Kusa. Well, let me check how big this fist is compared to over here. Because in theory, these are supposed to be approximately the same size. Okay, so like increase it a little bit. Might as well legalize the purge while we're at it. Yeah. Like say me putting the scooper in upside down and I need to clean the handle. Eventually the thing it leans against. I don't know what Christmas song is beginning to look a lot like Kusa. Beginning to look a lot like Kusa. Everywhere you go. That's when Kusa leans into the fact that he's also goo, and forcibly converts everyone into him, as all goo sonus inevitably do. It is the I want to bonk someone. No, don't. But no. You know, like it's one of those things where it's like I plan on keeping my United States citizenship, if only just because my mom very specifically was like, "Hey, honey, can you keep your American citizenship? You'll now play mahjong." Kusa, when he doesn't have 3 other players to play mahjong, just forcibly goops them. We're playing mahjong. I think you need consent to bonk someone. I just eat them, and then there's more of me. Wait, Vicarious, are you also a goose? Are you fellow goo? I did not know that you were fellow goo. There's so many of us. Dozens of us. Stop, Swariel. Why? As long as me and my boyfriend can get it properly employed and get good benefits, I'm happy to start a new life. That's the big thing. Because, like... That's a crisp.
We're the wretch.
Realistically, if the purge were to happen, most of the crimes being committed in the purge are grand larceny, GTA, and CEO murdering.
When my son is this goop pushing a metal dragon body around, hell yeah. I am 100% here for this goop. I'm Starkymorph, and this is my favorite goop on the goop on the Citadel. But no, yeah, I could definitely see that. Well, the entire point, so I actually have not seen The Purge, but my understanding of The Purge is that the Purge is more or less something like initiated by the ultra rich to keep the the idea basically being that there's gonna be enough working class infighting caused by it that they can just bunker down and ride it out, and then they more or less control the world. There's a lot of goose, so the dragon's a little bit fat. God bless. Yes, I'm here for this. I'm living the dream of enjoying the thought of a giant big goo dragon metal suit. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out how, because I hate the way I draw tatas where it feels like they have no depth. Maybe something like that. The Purge is also made by simpletons that go straight to slasher instead of using the idea for creative heist or psychological drama. Yeah.
Wretch. We're wretch.
What's up, Chris?
We're the wretch.
Quick, put a small amount of each of all the goose on a skew in a centrifuge and leave it on for around 6 hours. I wanna see what happens.
I mean, presumably the most dense goo would sink to the bottom. Well, that is how centrifuges tend to work. The centrifuges are actually they're very explicitly for separating things and not combining them. Kisboy, the producer of movies, is about to direct a Skibidi Toilet movie when the internet more or less has moved on. The internet definitely has not moved on from Skibidi Toilet. It is, as far as I'm aware, it is still very, very popular amongst specifically kids. Realistically, it can't even happen since it's due to the disconnect between the rich, the poor and the rich. The poor would go straight for the rich because since they're the ones who can rob easily compared to the lower class.
We're wretch.
I don't necessarily know that that's true. What's up, Chris?
Can I add something to the word filter?
What? What are you potentially adding to the word filter is my question. Jetsu Holiday. No,
Ratch.
I like
Ratch.
Jet 2 Holidays and me.
We're the
What's up, Chris?
Ratch.
Here's the thing, The Purge is a great idea of a movie on what it does. The problem is they took a good idea and do nothing with it. It's just a slasher movie fighting your neighbors and not the actual enemy. Cause you know, we can blame the rich.
Yeah. But no. So Jet 2 actually isn't is notably not astroturfed. It is a authentic meme that was actually like the Jet 2 the Jet 2 company, the company that ran the ad just ran with the fact that everyone was immediately was like, yeah, this is the sound of like, you know, like a nightmare happening. But yeah, no. So the Jet 2 holiday does in fact stay. What is a Jet 2 holiday? Where is it? Let me pull up a quick meme for you. I need to probably go to YouTube. Jet 2 Holiday is the British vacation company. Yes. So the setup is basic. Okay, I found a good one. There we go. So the setup is that this is audio from a company selling like discounted travel, like, you know, travel flights.
Spin!
And the internet did what the internet does and ran really fucking hard with it. So immediately it got used as like the overplay audio for like things. That's not the right source. Ignore the brief glimpse into the void that you saw there. So basically, by the way, Stark, you might want to turn up your mic. TTS and music is louder than you. Okay, fair enough. So you can already tell that things are going to be great. So yeah, the audio of nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Okay, but like if you're a kid in this, you're fucking living the dream. You're like, hell yeah. I'm fucking like that's you've made it. You've made it. You've transcended. You get to fucking tell that story for the rest of your life. Like the story about how I almost got killed by a horse.
Ratch.
What's up, Chris?
We're the Ratch.
Darling, hold my head up.
Darling, hold my head. I can't get that high. But no, I would be I would be horrified. All right, did we get another Jet 2 holiday? What the fuck? What the fuck is this? This is some fucking eraser. This is some siren head ass shit. It's not eraser head. Look at the fucking she is beauty. She is grace. It's a Jet 2 holiday. Oh, Shanna, what the fuck? Where do you keep getting this stuff? Kronos? Kronos? Kronos accidentally put a pop on TikTok in the queue. Nothing beats a twat 2 holiday. The well is deep. All right, how? Because you typed !SR and then 3 Pop-em-like kex. Because it also accepts like queries, so like you don't need to like necessarily know exactly the name of the song. There we go. Let's keep it in there for the lulls now. I don't want to be jump scared by Puff Bud's voice. Especially because I 9 to 1 odds, it's immediately going to be chat. All right, chat. Which, like, that's not me trying to, like, that's not a slight against Pavmut. You got to do what you got to do to get into the algorithm, unfortunately. Which is part of why I will never blow up as a streamer. I'm gonna be honest with you, 100%. This entire time I've been baiting you. The reason that I can promise all the stupid shit that if I ever hit Twitch partner is because I know I'm never hitting it. Because I refuse to bend to algorithms. There was an inflatable art exhibit a few years back that was airborne with like 20 plus people inside. There's a terrifying video of to watch. I wish the Bouncy Council would be scarier. Let's try like now. There we go. Something like that.
Wretch.
There we go. What's up, Chris?
We're the wretch.
3 days until Vorday, if you want to be the unlucky fucker who gets absorbed into Starkey the shirt pipe. Eats my daddy crow.
Nope. Hate that. Hate that. It is, yeah, I guess to be fair, 8-8 is Vorday, isn't it? Here. Somewhere like that. Imagine celebrating a birthday on Vorday. Quick, where's Zet when you need him? There's actually fair. There's so many people I could make that joke about. So many people in this fandom. I'm like, yes, they're deeply Vorny. Who's the Vorniest person in art and like who's a regular here? I'm trying to think. Ivan's a semi-regular. immediately it catches Ivan with a stray. Hey, Starkey, check DMs. What in God's green earth is that? Why? Sorry, did you just send me fucking Canada to watch me fail? All right, hold on. We got another being distracted thing. Well, who would say it? Who would you say it is? That's a good question. I actually don't know who would be the Vorniest regular. You know what? I'm gonna say Swariel because that's the funny answer. Okay, yes, that was entirely. It was like she's not gonna hate her because she's gay. She's gonna be rude in other ways. You better send shiny pics. Listen, that is a very, very, very long way away. We shall see, though. Moving ain't cheap, even if I'm not moving all of me.
Wretch. We're wretch. We're the wretch.
You should find Vancouver now for that stray I caught. I said a nice thing yesterday and you do this.
Yeah, you said a nice thing yesterday. I said, wow, that's a nice, sweet thing you said, that you immediately became a gremlin about it.
Starkey, why do pirates have such a hard time playing poker? The captain's always standing on the deck.
That's pretty rude of him, to be perfectly honest with you. It seems like, you know... Like, he should be sleeping. He should be taking care of himself. He's the captain, after all. But, like, B...
Wretch.
You know,
We're
you
wretch.
step...
We're the wretch.
Was it
Ho
Chris?
ho 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 homosexual.
Unfortunately I am not a Christmas gay. I'm not a Christmas gay. You threatened to dox me. It was literally a joke. And besides, you used your fucking username anyway, so like, you knew I'm not a Christmas gay either. I find Christmas like, I think it's because I'm like neurospicy, where I'm like, the one thing I fucking hate is like when plans change like at the last possible minute. Like, that pisses me off real hard. Dated one crave to death the entire relationship. Understandable.
Nothing beats a Starkey almost ducks his soiree alive on stream holiday.
Nothing beats. Fair enough. Huh? Song request dead? No. Song request open. Yeah, I believe it's exclamation mark songs current. If I spell it fucking correctly. That song. I give up. I give up. You see? You see I've given up now. Really, Stark, you might want to adjust that mic. Is it really that quiet?
We're the Wretch.
I'm looking, and I'm
Hello,
like, I'm
fans, when
consistently
they
peaking.
actually have to celebrate the holiday and not just enjoy the aesthetic of the holiday.
I swear to God, why the fuck does it? It feels like they fucking changed the like, it actually does feel like they changed the commands every week. I don't know how or why. But yeah, no, like my mic volume is like pretty consistently near like peaking, so like. What? Okay, so I was right. It was songs current. The thing was just fucking lagging. Never mind. The bot is broken. Okay, to remind myself. Hey, fuckface. Stop treating the sketch layer like it's the fucking like line art. I beg of me.
Wretch. We're Wretch.
What's up, Chris?
We're the Wretch.
Fuck Thanksgiving, all my homies hate Thanksgiving, all it is an excuse to spend money on food to spend around your garbage relatives who you avoid in the other 352 days of the year.
Hear me out. What if you just like completely detach yourself from your garbage relatives, and then Thanksgiving actually becomes quite handy. Also, you can celebrate Friendsgiving. I'm a big proponent of Friendsgiving celebrations, which is just Thanksgiving, but you see your friends instead of going to see family. Yeah, and then you beat up strangers at a Macy's a few hours later. I've never done a Black Friday event, and I never will. I don't think they hate Thanksgiving, but that's because I have a great family. But no, like I'm not gonna play Animal Crossing Harvest Festival event all day. Listen, I can assault someone at a Macy's. Starkey, are your IRL friends going to Canada with us? I don't believe there is any plans for any of my IRL friends from college to go up to Canada with me. I am going to be the settler that that will bring them all over. Is this fucking a rules cards theme? Welcome on in Corvus Twig. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. Crow points at you. Crow. I need to get some PNGs so I can just point at you, because unfortunately my hand tracking is biffed until I get a new hub. Welcome on in Corvus. Oregon Trail of Reverse Brain Drain. Basically. Although I imagine the funny thing is, like, I think of all of my friends, I'm gonna struggle the most. Like, outside of like maybe my brother, I would have struggled like more than most of them will in regards to getting into Canada, because My degree is in computer science, and fuck all with how the
We're
computer
the
science
rats.
situation's going anywhere.
Someone said that rules card gives Swarreal vibes, and I hate that fact so much as I can't fight it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I would actually, if someone told me I give rules cards vibes, that is like you've given me permission to end your life. That is what you've said. What you've said to me is, hey, kill me, end me right now. Here's like a signed petition by my lips for you to stab me in the heart. But no, I don't think I would give you rules card vibes. I want to give off Tenna vibes. You give off Lancer vibes. I'm sorry to say it. I'm sorry to say it, Swariel, but you give off Lancer vibes. Listen, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. That's Kasai though. Yeah, and you and Kasai are like the fucking you're both I don't mean this to be an insulting bit, but I mean this, like, you two are very, very similar in terms of the energy you bring. You're both Lancer. True. Rules cards theme, but in Smash Brothers Brawl. It's like and I mean this with love. I don't mean this in any way to be an insult, but also you both are Lancer. Y'all, you both bring way too much chaotic energy to be anything other than him. Whereas like rules card is just like Starkey or Swatch. I accept Swatch. I think rules card is too hard a boy failure to be anyone who's regular here. Like if I say you have rules card energy, I mean that like it's like a huge insult. I'm Lancer, yes. I'm too Chaos Gremlin to be boy failures. Yes.
We're the rats.
Just a crisp.
I must go on a personal journey to get more Tenna vibes.
Well, I am Ace. I do think like Lancer is probably the most like Ace coded of all the characters. So if I do something more like this. There you go, somewhere like here. I'm messing around with shapes a little bit, but I'm somewhere Rouse like too. On like on what basis? On what basis are you saying that you're Rouse? Explain yourself.
Rats. We're rats. We're
What's
the
up, Chris?
rats.
Coming straight to your house. That's right, I'm coming straight to your house with a baseball bat. I heard you had nice looking stuff and I want that stuff.
No baseball stuff to my stuff. I hate it here. This sucks. This This feels genuinely disrespectful. You ever think about how oh my god, the anthem shut up. You ever think about how furry media like Zootopia and Beastars, no one has humans? Imagine the ghost should be like, look at my pet human, a naked human with a skeleton. The anthem of Quifada. Well then, enjoy the smooth jams. I'm here for smooth jams. This is a fucking banger. Okay, I think now I'm gonna try to do line art. The thing is, like, because like a lot of the details I would typically add are actually end up being like, because like I think it's like a bodysuit. Oh, you know what I should probably figure out? I should probably figure out the details of like how I want to add the bodysuit. You know what else is disrespectful? I love LMI. You know what else is disrespectful? My mom. To be fair, my mom actually has disrespected many a person. She has definitely ended multiple careers. Multiple careers. She would be like, I was perfectly respectful. Motherfuckers had it coming. You know what? I can't really argue. She's just right. Okay, let's see what we're looking at in terms of like clothing he wanted me to use. Nobody messes with Mama Morph? No. Absolutely not. I never curse. I'm the therapy friend with questionable self-worth, and when I'm not a gremlin, I'm a wholesome being. Ergo Rouse. I can somewhat see it. Well, come on in, Chimera Dragon. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. Can you shout for Chimeran? AKA Cam. How you doing? How y'all holding up? Okay. So, suit like this. There you go. I'm fighting for life this morning, but I'm out here, baby. I'm currently in the process of trying to figure out how to draw like a... Let's see. The padding is outer legs. Let's see. Here. Shoulders, elbows, outer arms. Okay. Okay. I danced with my boyfriend to this song? Hell yeah. Enjoy the gay time with your boyfriend to the song. I do want to at some point have a Golden Gay time from Australia. If only just because I love their marketing. Because they 100% know what they're doing with that marketing. I believe their marketing tagline for Golden Gay Times in Australia is you can't have a gay time by yourself. They 100% knew what they were doing. If you come to Australia, I'll arrange a meetup. Heck yeah. What the fuck is this? Oceana, what is this? Welcome on Media Scales. Good to have you, Sweet Bean. Is this the anthem of the United States? Listen, just because it espouses all of the beliefs of in America does not mean that it's America's theme. Anthem. The first word I come into super fart, now I'm invested. It's definitely giving energy of all time. Since when I was a little, since when has cooking made you a communist? I think he said he was cooking meth. Jesus fucking Christ. This is actually like I feel shit. This is from 2011. I'm like actually uncomfortable with that one. How's cooking meth a communist activity? Anyway. But welcome on, media. How you doing, you sweet bean? There we go. Think of the stretch. And the save, and the hydrate. This is a good stretch. I went too long without stretching. I definitely feel like this is... I feel bad, because, like, I suppose there's, like, nothing you can really do to control it, but I do feel like this is, like, a step back in terms, like, of my art progress. All right, just hoping, just vibing, hope you are yourself. I'm doing all right. We're working on a raffle piece that, we're doing it for Beanie. Wait, is this Ivy Comb? Yes. I actually didn't know Ivy Comb did music. I'm not gonna lie. Well, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. I need to do. I want to do another cover. Admittedly, that's gonna be a bit of ways yet, because unfortunately, that is going to probably require, you know, disposable income, and that's going to be in short supply for a bit here. Is there anything I should? There we go. And then we got knee pads, which makes sense. So this is mostly the stuff that's like affecting the silhouette. Oh, Lord. Okay. Hear me out. This is like, I guess to be fair, like, this is, you know, the process of adding details is, like, always gonna be time consuming. How do you pull the song list up again? Songs list? The bot's being a little finicky tonight, so. Songs queue? Oh, there we go. It's songs list. God damn it. Okay. Skill issue. Skills issue. Exclamation mark gay. I should add some more like silly little redeems for people to like, you know, to like do like the I need to add the TF, no gay percent. Unfortunately, like that's when it's like it's small stuff like that where like I need to probably like it would be easy to add. I just never remember to. Okay. Okay. Criminal. But yeah, no. Why does everything why is art suffering? I think it's like the fundamental issue. Huh, what the hell? That was that was an actual voice line in fucking Fire Emblem Engage. The game I refuse to play and finish. Like that was left in. Even in context. Yeah, I rewatched some of the stuff from like some of like clips from that time period. And like even in context, that shit like that the audio line just feels so incredibly out of place. I'm not super sold on that how that looks. So yeah, there you go. Actually, it's a bit more like hmm. I'm like low key a little nervous doing this crotch pattern. Oh, you know what? Because I think it's here. If I do this, it should be okay. I know. It's just like my brain. You know, it's one of those things where it's like floating anxiety. My brain's trained desperately to think of like, you know, my brain's like, for whatever reason, it's just like in super like defense mode. It's like, yeah, it must be ever vigilant. Couldn't tell you why. Okay, let's. How's that look? We're getting somewhere. I'm probably gonna like here. Let me see if I can like just like draw like little sheeps. Just like like make the logo on all of it just like little tiny sheeps. Instead of the like alpha logo. Mostly just for like the areas that are like pretty easy to see.
Wah.
Why do I feel like something is is it bad that I don't recognize this song? Is this please tell me this is a newish song that I just haven't been made aware of.
Wretch.
Oh.
We're the wretch.
Nothing beats the one part of Banff National Park where I hid a body once.
It's not new. Yep, no, it clicked. It clicked. It clicked. I'm a fool. You see, I'm a fool? You see, I'm a fool. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. Who the fuck uses the message effect as garbage? I hate this. I could have spent these 10 bits on a feet party. Alright, go spend 10 bits on the feet party then. What layer are you on? Hello? Thank you for the feet party. Thank you for the 10 bits for the feet party. You did this yourself. Also, oh yeah, that does remind me. We actually have 2 new emotes. Welcome on in, Cork. What are you, Sweet Bean? We got 2 new emotes, from Mirror Rung. We now have Starkey17 Fingies and Starkey17 Clap. So feel free to use those wherever. I'm a big fan of them. They're super duper cute. Enjoy the clap and enjoy the clap. You know, that has very, very different meaning depending on the decade in which you say it in. Enjoy the clap. There we go. Starkey, if he was a bottom. Isn't clap an STD? Yeah, that's the joke. I believe the clap is a euphemism for syphilis. I can't remember if it's syphilis. It might be something else. But listen, you don't have to be a bottom to put your fingies together like that. Sometimes you just see a big man and you're like, you know, you put the fingies together because they're hot. I'm surprised the Naked Gun didn't do well. It was good. Is that isn't it like is that the one that was a sequel of like a comedy from way back when?
Wretch, wretch, we're the wretch.
Everyone is a bottom because we are all getting fucked by life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, honestly. It's like truth nuke. Liam Neeson and Pamela Anderson have wonderful chemistry in the movie. So stupid. No, what are they're dating now? And yes, it's a legacy sequel. Okay. So I was correct in remembering that that one was a that one was the one that, I mean, to be fair, nowadays, like, who has money to go to the movies? To be fair, I'm now realizing, like, what I'm looking at is basically, like, techwear, which is, like, necessarily, like, some of the most complicated patterns and designs. Oh, Lord. Okay, it's fine. Those boots look nice. Welcome on, Darius. Good to have you, sweet babe. There are certain things you got to be careful when complimenting, otherwise people might assume things about you, and I feel like complimenting the way someone's boots look is definitely up there. Can we shout out for Darius, by the way? I feel like streamers and the makers of Epic Movie really heard that genre. It's slapstick offensive humor, but done well. So apparently there's a Tesla diner now. Yeah, I heard about that. I'm not a bootlicker if that's what you're implying, literally or metaphorically. Thank you very much. Well, no, I'm not saying that you're a bootlicker. What I'm saying is that, like, you know, if your kink is you like boots, then I'm not one to judge. Excuse me, what fucking layer are you on? Oh, god damn it, I was wrong layer this entire fucking time. Oh, that's not great. All right. Welcome on, GT. I'm glad to have you, Sweet Bean. Does Maine from Ascendance of a Bookworm have a book fetish? I mean, a book, like a fetish is just like something that's like you like a hyper fixation. But I would argue that like books have like, I wouldn't necessarily say so because fetish kind of like implies that it's like more focused than like one would reasonably give something of that nature unless they had like a fetish for it. So I don't think so, because books, like, you know, like books, you know, intrinsically have that kind of like a, you know, appeal of being like, oh, you know, I get to learn stuff. Her will to live depends on if she can at least sniff books. Or just layer below. I mean, listen. I don't necessarily, again, like, I don't necessarily think that that's like the full implication, but she wants to read so badly she will resort to book sniffing. I mean, at that point, that sounds more like an addiction than a fetish. Okay. I'll take my leave now. Good night. Sleep tight. Dream of churros tonight. For sure. Thanks for hanging out, Cornflake. Have a wonderful evening, you sweet bean. Okay. Oh, Lord. This was a... Agreeing to do techwear was a huge mistake. It's fine, though. Okay, there we go. Move you up there. Good point. What would a book fetish look like then? I don't know. I'm not a fetish expert. Despite the fact that I guess we do talk about kinks a lot here. Well, welcome to Death Nation. I think I missed you earlier. Hold up. I feel like I'm actually missing context for what the inside of the ear is supposed to look like. Okay. You are my primary educational source on kinks. I'm so sorry. I only have a couple fetishes, but multiple kinks. I respect that. You gotta know what you like. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Actually, this isn't looking bad, all things considered. I guess this is one of those, like, trust the process moments, as an ace person disconnected from kink for the most part. That's like the fucking... There's an error request in the song Megalovania. Oh, I like how it's coming together. Yeah, it's actually kind of, like, coming together in a way that I'm relatively happy with, all things considered. Son of a fucking bitch. Nothing beats a Jet 2 Holiday Jersey Club remix. Okay, but it's kind of banging. It would be fun, Starkey, getting into a rubber bike suit. I can't imagine that's particularly good for actually biking. Wait, hold on. Yeah, it's kind of hitting though. I hate this kind of a jam. It's the look that's hot. Fair enough. I was really expecting to pop off. Not gonna, yeah, just kind of fucking hit out of nowhere. What the hell? Listen, it is very silly, but also I feel like this fits Beanie's energy. What the fuck is this? Drew's Sandstorm, but chickens. I guess this is where we're at. I guess this is where we're at as a stream. This is technically cheating. Those synths aren't chickens.
Wretch, we're
What's up,
wretch,
Chris?
we're the wretch.
Would you push the button if it wipes society and all collective minds of the concept of TF, but everyone has and always will be their first owner?
I mean, yeah, that would. I mean, listen, for me, it's the end goal. It's not necessarily like, you know, the sequences themselves are fun, but like I do like the idea of, like, you know, just oops. the idea of being my son is just neat. But TF will event. Yeah, that's the thing, is like it also will just eventually come back. But also doing that, I guess, would resolve the concept of body dysmorphia. Which, like, that seems like a pretty nice, you know, tack-on effect. All right, we're kind of cooking here. I just realized I didn't actually do the other boots. Sometimes I dream that I'm Aether, but I don't feel much different. I do get a sick pair of ethereal wings and the ability to float around like Lune. That does seem pretty cool. Who did it? Who's getting timed out? Camcool? Mods, feed Camcool British food for 10 seconds. This has happened so many fucking times. I heard my name. Mods, get him. Mods, get him. Feeds Camcool pizza. No. Kasai, do your job. Kasai, I don't pay you, but do it anyway. 10 seconds. Shadow Realm. Kasai. There we go. Thank you, Kasai. the little chuckle is awesome. Song is so best. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like at this point, it's like it's just gotten played to death. I think it's like that's the big sin of this song. Please skip. I got like, yeah, I do got 20 seconds stuff, but I definitely need to start coming down a little bit harder on meme shit like that. Enjoy more LMI. You know what? I think I will. Just because I feel like we are reaching like kind of a meme singularity where it's just like it's not necessarily even fun anymore. I think there's a time and a place for it, but you got to keep them fresh, otherwise, like I do get bored, and at which point you will be sent to the Shadow Realm. Familiarity breeds contempt. Yeah, it's more or less that concept. I think I would if I definitely think I'm gonna have to add like a complexity, you know, like surcharge for stuff like this, because doing stuff like doing like the techwear look is definitely a little bit energy intensive. I just realized the Ella May song I picked up is something like my boyfriend likes. It's a banger. I respect like artists like this, where it's just like it's very, very confident in her voice. Like the trap mix in the back, where it's like, yeah, like there's nothing really you can hide behind. So you just have to have supreme confidence in your vocal tones. Is the Shiba too silly? I envy her clarity and vibrato. The Shiba might be too silly. I find the Shiba charming. Well, that's fair. But I understand the Shiba has to go. All right. God, wait, how the fuck has it already been 2 hours? Holy shit. Oh, more LMI. Also, we're about to run our second set of about to run our second set of 3-minute ads. We run this every hour to turn off pre-rolls. People don't have to deal with the ads as soon as they join the stream. I won't lie, I've actually been completely caught off guard. I didn't realize that we've been going for 2 hours. And I'm still in the sketching phase. Oh, God almighty. Lord, give me strength. How did this happen? Time flies when you're having fun. I suppose that's fair. Okay. I'm sad. Yesterday I found a bird trying to cool down. It could only find a puddle of water at a canal. It's 107 degrees out there. Oh my god. At least I hope you're having fun. I certainly am with you, cutie. I mean, I think it's going all right, all things considered. So Starkey, can you tell me about can I tell you about my Magic the Gathering deck? Go for it. Okay, I like this pen. All right, line art time. All right, so you set you to lowered opacity, and let's begin our line art process. Even though we only have an hour left, I feel like there's no way we're gonna finish the line art by the time stream is over. But hey, that's, you know, the more you get done today, the less the less of it I have to do tomorrow. Or I guess not tomorrow, it'll be Friday. And here's the part where I actually do have to be picky with my lines. Okay. Race you a bit. All right. I'm 100% down for like that kind of audio, like that kind of singing. It's very soulful, and I think that I think soul is where I struggle, or I'm the most successful in terms of like my vocal range. Like in terms of like, you know, music, I tend to have, I think, a very like soul tone when I sing. I love some smooth soul and R&B. Hell yeah. Intet the Dreamer Commander, a few dragon combos that goes bonkers, a few treasure value engines, a bit of blink recursion energies, and a land duplication. I'm trying to remember what Intet does. I definitely know because he's one of the okay, yeah, he is the Teamer Dragon. Pay 3 if you do exile the top card from the library face down. You may look at the card for as long as it remains exiled. You may play this without paying. Okay, so you get a bunch of free spells, basically. You know what? I'm not the. I think I'm realizing I'm not the hugest fan of Beyonce, which I know is like heresy. So like, you know, if I must be like impaled on the spike of the, you know, the homosexual army coming after me, I'm not the hugest fan of her. If you let me get Miriam, Astral, Dragon, Primal Vigor, then you deserve to lose. Yeah, that's fair. There we go. A lot of people say they hate the lining art, but I actually kind of love the line art phase because it's very much just like you don't have to think. I like certain songs from Beyonce, this one in particular, as well as Break My Soul. I guess that's what it's fair. It's like, yeah, you don't necessarily like everything an artist produces. But yeah, no, like it's one of those things where it's like, maybe for the lyrics because I dance them sometimes. That's fair. I can't dance, so you see, fundamentally, I can't relate to that. Like the one area, like, you know, I'm pretty good about like not like avoiding most of the white stereotypes. Being unable to dance is definitely the one where I'm like, yeah, okay, that I'm very white in that aspect. I actually do feel like I'm learning things as I go on. So last night I saw a thing where Twitch is offering monetization to unaffiliated channels. The benefit doesn't seem that good. Because it's one of those things where like, I'm pretty sure like you can monetize your channel. I don't think you're allowed to pull the money out of Twitch until you're an affiliate though. So like it doesn't really change anything as far as I'm concerned. And you know, I it's one of those things where it's just like it's a perplexing change. It's like, who is this for? I don't think it's for smaller streamers because they don't get, you know, they're not making money already. It's like is this for like one-off streams that Twitch is planning on having? I think that actually does make sense. Like if they want to do more stuff like the Tony the Tiger VTuber stream, as much a disaster as that was. Kind of see if you like the kind of smooth and jazzy sound if we get to tonight. I should also probably keep an eye on the queue length. Let's see. 3, 6, 13, 16, 20, 25, 31. Okay. I was personally there for the Tony the Tiger stream. Oh yeah, no, I was there as well. It was a fucking shit show. It was so poor Oku, poor Captain Growler Bear, like had 3 of his emotes removed because of that. Like he had like a belly hefting animated emote that was removed. I want to say he had like a carrot, like a very suggestive looking carrot like in the mouth that was removed. I can't remember, like I think he had a drool as well that also got removed. And a bunch of people got timed out and banned. It was so fucking funny too, because everyone was being like super duper horny in the chat, and they're like, shit, fuck, we can't deal with this right now. So they turned on emote only mode. Only problem is a bunch of fucking degenerates made extremely horny emotes. I did draw a couple bear paws in the shins. I'm trying to learn how to get comfortable with shapes and angles. I'm still really... Oh, no, don't get me wrong. Like, I still consider myself to be new, even though I've been doing this for a year. So one thing I did do at Gen Con was I talked to a bunch of other artists, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm starting my art journey. And they're like, yeah, that's great. And, you know, everything I was like, I feel like I feel like I'm constantly learning. And they're like, yeah, that feeling never goes away. I checked out what stream was this. Oh, we were talking about the Tony the Tiger stream. The Tony the Tiger VTuber stream. To be fair, at one point they talked about like, oh, like, you know, they talked about like who, like, I want to say like they were doing like Fall Guys, and apparently for the the person who won the Fall Guys was supposed to win Tony's quote unquote sweaty bandana. So they had someone fucked up there. I definitely know Kaiser got banned from it for talking about wanting Tony's musky bandana. And it's like, yep, that checks out. I was actually like, I think the only one of Pop-Ut's mods who was there that day and didn't get banned. Yeah, I will say that I discovered even more depth to what I can do today. I might upload it. Heck yeah, I highly recommend it. Like, you know, just keep the art grind going. A bandana guy really wanted their coworkers to... It was so fucking funny too, because like one of the partnered streamers they brought on was like, I don't remember her name, but like her audience afterwards was like, yeah, that is not at all, that's not remotely how she acts. Like they very clearly like had her, like, you know, they were very clearly like told her like, hey, don't fuck this up. don't be yourself, be the corporate version of you that we want to see. Which is really fucking funny. Just furry from Concentrate. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't know what they expected. But no, like, she apparently she's like way more like I don't, not raunchy, but like way more chaotic on her own stream, and she was like very clearly like holding back the entire time. That stream was a fucking disaster. But it was funny because they kept fading in and out of like emote only mood. It's like like, y'all are being too horny, go to emote only mode, and then they would be stuck in emote only mode, which means they spam their horniest emotes. Who were we talking about? This is the Tony the Tiger stream. That happened, God, it's been like 2 years now since that happened, huh? But then the Kellogg was founded by the ideal of abstinence. Yeah, literally Kellogg's founding was based on the idea that like if they made cereal boring enough, you wouldn't want to have sex. Which is like, that's some fucking strange shit right there. But like, you know, that entire thing was just like one extended shit show. And to be honest with you, I'm glad I got to see it live. I was dying from the silly shit that happened. It was one of my favorite streams of all times. Not at all for any intended reason. but rather just for like the sheer community blowout of like, yeah, let's all just shit on this brand. And there was like some amount of drama because like, you know, it's a brand, so clearly they're gonna get like, you know, their Twitch channel is gonna get like the partner badge. And people were just like, yeah, that's fucking. Did they realize that the microplastics and chemicals in the water would make people horny degenerates? I don't think so. I don't think they ever realized that. Welcome on, Geekster Boy. Thank you for the stretch and the hydrate.
Spin!
Oh, they were the pets. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, ow, ow.
Spin!
Thank you for breaking Swariel's femur. Very important. Needs to happen every stream. I think I sent you my favorite Twitch moments of all time. What would that be? Looks. Oh yeah, I did. Cause I actually can't remember off the top of my head. My spin still needs Megalovania's first note. You have to remember, nothing happens unless there's a reminder for me, so you have to leave a reminder in the to-do list. Check DMs. Motivational Twitch. I don't think I can't remember if I watched that. It's been a bit. All right. Hopefully, because like I don't know, like with its art. Definitely with like hand pobs. This might be one of the situations where it's like she would have won an Oscar. Should have won an Oscar for that speech. I just DM Starkey something Crisp did. What the fuck is this? Hold up, dude. This is a good time because this is interrupting my brain. So like, I have a chance to like refresh my eyes. To be fair, that mouse is probably fucking dead. Like capsaicin exists to keep mammals from eating that. That mouse is dead. That mouse died. Oh, fuck me. I just realized something I never did this entire time. The ass is doing something weird, but that's just because the bike is supposed to be there. Can mice even safely ingest chocolate in the first place? Probably not. Yeah, that mouse 100% dead. It died from theobromine and capsaicin poisoning. I might have made the booty too jumbo-licious, but... The mouse definitely got high from capsaicin. I've been high on capsaicin before. I gotta say, it's quite the experience. You can 100% get high off spice. So when I got back from MFF last year, I actually got like super duper sick. It was the sickest I'd ever been after a convention, because usually I'm pretty good about wearing a mask, so I don't usually get cron crud. I didn't wear one for MFF, so naturally I got super duper sick. I was sick for like 2 weeks. until my friends eventually are like, all right, fucker, let's just fix this. Here's some hot pot. They brought me to hot pot. I got like spicy hot pot. It was so fucking good. It cleared out like every single compartment of my body. And then, did you eat the MFF sushi? So that I MFF sushi? I don't think I've heard about that. But no, we then proceed to go to Joann's Fabrics. we go to Joann Fabrics post hot pot, and I'm just like, I'm seeing the face of God, man. Fucking my lungs are clear. I got like vegetables and shit in my bloodstream. And I had to walk around Joann's Fabrics being like, do not let them know that you got spice high. Do not let them know. They can never. I did the fucking thing. I haven't done it since college where like I had to do the like, yeah, I'm normal walk. Where like if you've ever been really drunk before, you do like the walk where you're like, yes, I'm paying very close attention to my steps. And then start getting stuff for the next day. Honestly, no. I have pretty high spice tolerance, and hot pot doesn't necessarily get that spicy. Also, imagine a party game where you eat a gummy as a punishment, 70% normal, 20% sugar-free, and 10% weed. That seems like that's a pretty good way to get someone killed, depending on how often you do it. Roast hot pot cured you. Unironically, like hot pot did, I think, actually cure me of disease. And leave it all behind. Nothing left to do but try to take the leap and follow through. And that's exactly what I'll do. I know to you I don't seem very strong, but I assure you before you can find me, I'm gone. So come on and catch me, you still got a chance. This, low-key, I'm actually considering doing a cover of this song. I'm not interested in getting high, to be honest. I do like the gamble, though. Not for long, I'll be rolling place to place. Won't stop till I win the race, although I may have crossed the line. No time to waste on you. I don't plan on slowing down. No, I'll keep on going, even if you think I'm in the wrong. Just know that although I may not think everything through, I can't take back what I say or regret what I do. I know that some stay in line and they stick to a plan, but if you leave it to me, I'll do whatever I can, cause I know that's what I'm here for. I don't want to wait around anymore. Even if you can't see the good inside of me, I don't have the time to tell you why I do the things that I do. Just please hold on and then you'll see that I'm not the villain I appear to be. Welcome on to Zerok Crisis and Tanos. Good evening, Sweet Pea. Good to show for Zerok and Tanos. I tried a sleepy gummy a month back. Instead of making me sleepy, it made me lock the fuck in. Interesting. Clearly your hot pot was good soup. Love that food. It's medicinal and delicious. But yeah, how are you two doing, you sweet beans? I think my mods might be asleep. Never mind, Kasai's here. How does Starkey know this song? I actually like adore it, like, because this is a song I found way back in high school. So like more than a decade now. Okay, just finished some art. I'm getting semi-good at not hating the things I do. Hell yeah! That's awesome.
Owl, do not mind me.
I'm EP Owl, do not. Understandable. Twitch is glitching out my keyboard. But yeah, that's like actually like really huge. Lord knows I'm still looking at this and I'm like, I hate it. This shows an immense amount of progress as an artist. I hate it. Lys Cardinal. Oratrice mécanique de Lys Cardinal. I also cannot offer to share the things I did because they lewd. I mean, I could still, like, you know, I'm like, as far as being an art viewer and a artist myself, I'm relatively comfortable receiving. I got very self-indulgent. Hell yeah. Unironically, like, that is the best way you're gonna learn, is by like getting self-indulgent and drawing the stuff that like really, you know, you really want to be doing. I definitely I was there before and after Garion's like foot like paw drawing like Garion's paw drawing you know exercise where like he really leveled up his art. Is it good when I'm getting worse at art but it's also less painful? I think so. Welcome on in, Rev. Go ahead and get sweeping. Could you shout for Rev? Then I shall throw them at you. Heck yeah. But you know, I'm relatively comfortable seeing like and seeing and discussing loot stuff. Admittedly, I usually do like I'm like you know like it's going to be primarily from people that I feel relatively comfortable talking to. They're not for stream just to keep it safe. That's fair. Well, I must be EP then. Thank you, no problem. Ak got sniped. What is this? What is that from? Fontaine, Genshin? So can you translate the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? It took me a bit to find, but capsaicin in very high doses can cause neurotoxicity. Yeah!
Wretch.
Merely humans are pretty resilient against most toxins. What's up, Crisp?
Idea, live-action K-pop Demon Hunters with Adam Sandler, Nick Cage, and Jim Carrey as the main characters.
I will end you. Never say those words in that sequence ever again. I don't have anything against Nick Cage, Adam Sandler, and Jim Carrey or whatever. K-pop Demon Hunters deserves better than them, though. So Mécanique, Mécanique is clearly mechanical. Cardinal is if we're thinking about it in terms of like roots, it can either mean directionally or like magnitudes. Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse. What is d'Analyse? D'Analyse. My guess would be the machine that judges the directions. Yeah, it's probably like analyze the machine that judges the direction. I don't know what Oratrice is. That's the stumping one. Maybe it means Oracle. The machine that predicts the direction. Something along the lines of order, I believe. Okay. Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal. The machine that speaks on the direction it analyzes. Look at me, I'm a live action remake. Get that contrast. It's very clear that like any live action remakes are like all just money grabs, and they have been for like the last decade. Imagine we got tangled in a live action remake with Chris Pratt as Flynn. The worst part is that like I could reasonably see that happening and also unfortunately selling. And The Rock is Rapunzel. Okay, that's significantly less likely. Hold up, I think I'm realizing something about the way I draw lips. I think I make the part like too high. You need to start making fun of filmmakers who refuse to like their scenes. Chris Pratt is handsome, but not Ryan Reynolds handsome. I don't even think Chris Pratt is handsome. I also hate the characters he plays, and also him as a person. Yeah, Chris Pratt is very, very, very overrated. Did he star in the World War Z movie? I fucking maybe. I'll be honest with you. I think the only thing the only thing he's got going for him is that he's in fucking everything. I know why they made him doing acting instead of sticking to comedy. I haven't seen his comedy. His acting is bad. I also he's like the biggest reason I hate the man-child character archetype. Like I have a deep hatred of the man-child like character archetype because of Chris Pratt. I was imagining The Rock as Rapunzel and Maui and then a crossover. Because I think Chris Pratt was good, but then every movie, animation, and game had him use him because of money, and now I'm sick of seeing his stupid face. Exactly. Okay, we need a Minions live action remake, but take a bunch of people who live action Minions, except instead of CGI, which still isn't live action, by the way, that's just straight up like a lie. CGI is animation. But no, live action, except they're just in costumes. Bring back fucking shitty costumes. As someone who's seen Hundreds of Beavers, and who can tell you, Hundreds of Beavers is unironically really fucking good, the shitty costumes are, like, actually part of the charm. I was about to say, hi, this music is driving me mad. Okay, bye. Understandable. To be fair, the song's over. But also, welcome, thank you for stopping by, Eagle Jalapeno. Glad to have you, Sweet Bane. Have them be the costumes that wear at Universal Studios? Hell yeah. But yeah, I probably should rein in the meme stuff a little bit. The song I like because my brain is weird. Understandable. It's like I always jokingly say, you're not playing it wrong, you're just playing a jazz reinterpretation. Because jazz is all about not using, like, clean harmonies. Which is why smooth jazz isn't fucking jazz. Source, Twiz the Tune is a literal... He is a graduated sound engineer, and he agrees with me. Don't get me wrong, I like smooth jazz. It's just not jazz. It's just smooth. Imagine 100 actors are into a scene with no script and they just have to improv while dressed as minions. To be fair, isn't that more or less what ended up happening with what's the movie about golfing? Caddyshack? They just got a bunch of really big name actors and they just let them loose with a shit script and ended up being hysterical. Despicable Me live action, but in the style of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All right. Welcome on in, Galvin. Glad to have you, Sweet Bean. Can we get a shout out for the Doodle Den? How you holding up, Big Dirk? This is a banger, though. Slowly working? Heck yeah. I'm working on drawing more big boys. I really need to get a commission from you at some point. Millie, that is very, very low on the priority list. Cries. Honestly, I like the TF trope of some unsuspecting explorer finding an abandoned living costume that inevitably takes over. Knowing your propensity for for latex, that does check out. I'm glad you like the song. It's a banger. Doing alright, just getting into the mood of deck making, Yu-Gi-Oh! And maybe Magic the Gathering. Deck making in Yu-Gi-Oh! Definitely strikes me as being like almost entirely different than deck making in Magic the Gathering. I'm what you can say a simple creature. Understandable. There's nothing wrong with knowing what you like. In my mind. Like, that's just like, you know, all of us have something going on. Yeah, especially I'm the one I'm building today. Because like the way I've seen, like if I guess to be fair, like it depends on if you're playing like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh. If you're playing like competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, then the experience is very, very different. Because competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, by my understanding, is basically like Legacy, Magic the Gathering, like one of Magic's most powerful formats. Except Legacy has this card called Force of Will that is a free counterspell to stop most of the degenerate bullshit. And Yu-Gi-Oh is like what Legacy would be if it didn't have a Force of Will. I think you have like something like a hand trap. I don't know if you can use that at instant speed though to disrupt a combo. So like it's one of those things where it's like it can be useful, but only like, you know, only if you're on the play, which, you know. I feel like the Avatar movies get so much unnecessary hate when people try to make the argument that the movies have no cultural relevance to it because people don't remember the names of the characters. It makes my face palm. With that logic, 90%, 98% of all movies have no cultural relevance, even movies with cultural relevant like names like Jurassic Park. I know one of them is named Malcolm, but I can't point out who. For me, I think it has no sticking power. The best way I could describe it is like if Avatar were a video game instead of a movie, it wouldn't be like a game someone made because there's a passion. It would be a like launch title tech demo to show like what what they're capable of. Like I think therein lies like, you know, my disdain for it. Is it doesn't necessarily, it feels less like here's a story I wanted to tell and more like here's a holy shit, you're still streaming? Yeah. I've only been going for 2.5 hours. What's up? Did I miss a call from you or something? Checks phone surreptitiously. You realize on Force of Wills, to the extent that Force of Will floodgates are a thing, I went and hung out with a homie for 2 hours. Yeah, I stream for 3 hours on average. It's all visual, cultural relevance. You see translucent floating jellyfish, you know where it's from. I suppose so, but it's also just like... It's one of those things where it's like, it doesn't necessarily have like there's no story or soul attached to it, I think is like the fundamental issue. Honestly, Forceful is a strong card. I mean, for sure. There's a reason that it's you know, it's stuck in Legacy, and they don't bring it to Modern. But no, it's one of these where it's like, if you see a, you know, if you see a floating jellyfish, of course you're gonna know it's from Avatar. But what is the like, you know, the floating jellyfish doesn't mean anything. Like it's the thing. It's like part of filmmaking in my mind is using both the story, like is tying the story and the visuals together. I took in a class, or took in high school a class that was called film appreciation. Basically, the teacher would like show us a film, but also would like very frequently stop and be like, "Yeah, okay, so like, you know, what's going on in this shot that like helps highlight the story." The one that comes to mind is I think Death of a Salesman. There's a scene very early on, where the main character is flanked by like twin twin pinups of it's two containers that are pinups of butterflies. And the entire thing is about like how this man is trading his free will and time on the planet to make, and you know, to like basically he's selling himself and his experience for money that doesn't mean anything and that's not going to matter. I know the new one had a good moral of part of parenting is that you eventually get to you gotta let your kid carve their own path. I mean, that's fair, but what was the moral of the first one? Like, you know, what was the story element that was respect nature? Okay. Also, there's like it's one of those things where it's like it you know, it's like, oh, like is the moral respect indigenous tribes, which funnily enough, if memory serves, they actually like disrespected indigenous tribes while making the original Avatar, so you know, not necessarily the cleanest look to be doing that shit. I don't know. Cause like, you know, and there's like story moments in the script where I look at that and I'm like, okay. Like unobtainium is actually like a technical term. See, that is a good argument. And it's one of those things where it's like it's so like the story lacks so much substance that like the visuals sticking around is, you know, like I would argue that they're the only thing that could reasonably have stuck around from the original Avatar because there's nothing else to it. The acting isn't particularly good. The story is very, very, you know, safe. Like the visuals are incredible for their time, but I would say it's grasping at straws, and that drives me nuts. I think there's like genuinely, it's one of those things where it's like, I think when you're talking to people who hate on something you like, you have to earnestly engage with what they're saying and recognize that, you know, that it's there's a reason underlying it, even if it's not necessarily a good one. But it's also like trying to differentiate between, is the reason good, or are they just really bad at expressing why they dislike this thing? Honestly, it has to do with the people living in denial, like the one son who's realistic with what's going on gets rejected for acknowledging an unpleasant truth. It's just like, I've said this before, I can see the inherent value of money, but it's like a representation of a value that's artificially placed onto shiny objects. Like, yeah, sure, it is what we use to exchange goods and services, but I can't see the inherent value of money. I think it's just like, I think what people say when they say like, you know, oh, there's like, you know, they don't remember the characters' names. I don't necessarily remember every character's names. Like I don't remember every character's name for everything I've seen, but I could definitely tell you like what their ideology and thoughts are. Like I can explain to you their plot line. I want to say the main character of Avatar's name is Jake, and his plot line is he's disabled. He doesn't want to be disabled anymore. and he finds a way to do that, but also like, you know, it's Sully. Is it Sully? Shit, I can't remember. Isn't that the character from fucking, I think his brother is Jake? Wasn't he also made with IMAX/3D in mind as well? I'd believe it. Like it's the big thing. And I actually would argue that like Elio recently. Jake Sully. I only knew the name of the race since it was very close to the one's fairy's name in the Ocarina of Time. Is Navi, right? But no, like, so I think the fundamental issue when you're looking at something, Jake Sully full name, is you have to look at it and be like, wait, okay. I also opinion that nothing much has inherent value outside of basic survival, I think. Yeah, I think like that's so like that is a very specific way of viewing art. I'm of the opinion that art exists exclusively in the connections. Like, okay, let's say I made this piece and then showed it to no one. Is it still art? Let's say like the day I died, like I showed it to no one and the day I died, it burns. Like I have it set up to some fucking heart monitor shit where like the instant I die, like this is a physical printout and the instant I die, it burns. No one ever got to see it. Would it still be considered art? I would argue no. Because in my mind, art is very much about expressing and conveying ideas. Even if the idea is very simple, like, haha, what if I was a dog man riding around on a motorcycle? That's a fun idea. Don't call me out like that. Well, no, listen, this is literally the way I view art. And hey, guess what? We're fucking siblings, so it makes sense that we would have very similar ideas on like how one express, like on the purpose and you know, purpose and ideology that goes into art, as both of us are people who make things. But no. I think the fundamental thing is I look at Avatar and I say, is this art? What is it trying to convey to me? And every time I watched Avatar, the thing it was conveying to me was, hey, look at what we can do with a lot of money and CGI. You know? I think that's like why, like, you know, there's like the idea of like, oh, you know, morals as an intrinsic part of storytelling. Because the idea is like you're trying to get across like you're telling this story. Like the origin of storytelling is to be like, hey, here's knowledge that I have that I'm passing down onto you, so that way you don't make the same mistakes I do. Like that is the intrinsic origin of stories. And storytelling and like thus art, you know, the basis of all of it. So when I look at, you know, something like that, it's the same thing I look at, like, I'm trying to think of like another, what was it? I'm gonna pick on Marvel here because I think Marvel genuinely has been missing the point a lot recently. I look at Marvel, like, so the most recent Marvel thing I saw was Eternals. Advice is nostalgia wrapped in wanting to help someone else. Exactly. Welcome on in, Silver. Glad to have you, sweet bean. Can we shout out for Silver? Thank you for the vibes, y'all. Body in need of sleep. For sure. Thank you for stopping by, Ether. Have a wonderful evening. Go get some good rest. Mythos also talks about how the world works in that culture. Exactly. There's a reason that like most mythologies have something very specific about like a lot of mythologies actually cover the idea of like providing for people who are like who don't have what's the term for it? It was Zeus, like one of Zeus's many areas that he covered. The idea that like if a traveler shows up, you're supposed to give them kindness, because the idea being like, oh, like you don't know if it's a god in disguise. But I think that's like earnestly baked in the idea that like we don't get through this by immediately attacking each other. Hospitality. Thank you. That was exactly the word I was looking for. Hospitality is baked into almost every every mythological system, I think, because the idea of like, hey, yeah, they had entire classes about it, like the idea of like if you violated hospitality, fucking like of all of the gods, Zeus Zeus and Jupiter, the head god of their respective pantheons, were the ones that oversaw hospitality. If you didn't provide hospitality, you pissed off the guy who will smite you with thunder. The one who, mythologically speaking, was the most active about doing it. This is my complaint with the movies. There's they're fun event movies, but Cameron's pursuit for cutting edge tech makes for horrendous home viewing. Especially the second with the high frame rate being converted to low frame for home viewing makes the animation look so stop motion. So that's why people think they have no cultural relevance, because the home viewing for the movie's experience, home movies suck. Murdering your neighbors makes it really exactly. The base idea being like, hey, we are humans, we are stronger together. Do not attack other humans just because you don't recognize them. America needs refresher and hospitality like desperately. Oh, for sure. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close up the queue, and I'm gonna go ahead and put on my personal playlist just for the last bit, since we are currently in the backup queue. Nope, that's not the right one. Nope. But yeah, no. So I think when you realize that, like, so this is like 7 tangents deep. The basic idea in my mind of like why do we make art, why do we tell stories, is fundamentally we're trying to convey something. We're trying to explain something, and sometimes it's really, really difficult to do in words. You know? Sometimes you're trying to convey like the silence, like the deep loneliness and melancholy of being alone in the middle of like Japan during a rainy day, like in the middle of like a like back alley. Like that idea, that knowledge of like, hey, it's very lonely being here, but there's genuine beauty to be found, is really fucking difficult to convey in words. But if you show someone a picture, hey, that's a little bit easier to express. People will not always listen to you when you tell them to do something, but a story is a way to tell something and make it bigger than you. Exactly. Like my viewing on story and art and like all of this is just like, honestly, I do wish that pantheons of gods do exist sometimes, and that we can become gods by either good deeds or becoming enlightened to the point of metamorphosis to a divinity. You are actually creeping up a little bit on my like the way that I personally, the way I personally have made peace with death and the concept of legacy.
Wretch,
Chris.
we're the wretch.
You fuckwit, you're valid as hell.
Hey, grabs you. You too, bitch. We literally have one in our real life that we know is a fake story. We tell kids to get them to be good. Santa Claus on the naughty list. Absolutely. In my mind, the purpose of like a legacy is like, legacy I think is something good to strive for, but I also think it's something that like we don't really get to choose for ourselves. And unironically, I think the best piece of advice I have for anyone who's struggling with the concept of mortality, fucking play Spiritfarer. Play Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer is a very, very good game, and it covers concepts of mortality and like, legacy and all that good shit. God, so many filmmakers need to listen to you. So many filmmakers forget the #1 rule of the movies: show, don't tell. I will say, show, don't tell, and this is why. It's gonna sound crazy. Show, don't tell is literally CIA propaganda. Which is the one that works externally? Like the one that works outside the States? CIA? I can't remember if it's the CIA or I think it's the CIA. So the CIA during the Cold War hosted a writing workshop to teach, because America was losing the cultural war in books. There was just better Russian literature. They literally taught a book writing course in America to try to win the cultural war of books during the Cold War. And one of the pieces of advice they had was show, don't tell. The idea basically being that, like, with show, don't tell, you're making your piece of media more accessible, because you're explicitly saying, like, hey, you're saying, like, there is no explicit lesson to be understood or heard, so people get to interpret it their own way, which isn't inherently a bad thing. No, the fuck, did I just open up a rabbit hole? Start? No! You don't understand! It's literally CIA propaganda. But no, like, the idea of it was that, like, by like making it more accessible and by making it more open, and also by making it so that way the author's interpretation doesn't necessarily really matter. It, like, the people get to interpret it in their own way. That, like, A, the piece of media would be more accessible, and also B, that it would actually be, like, less thought intensive. Because if someone says, like, you know, like, having read Russian literature, I read Crime and Punishment from Dostoevsky. It's a fucking dry read. That book sucks. But I think there's genuine value, because a lot of the times it explicitly outlines, like, hey, the protagonist killed a guy. He feels like fucking dog shit about it, but the entire time it's explaining, like, all the shit he does to cover it up. Like, all, like, you know, the entire process of, like, hiding the body, you know? He's like actively going out of his way to avoid the police. Sorry, don't spoil it for others. The death happens in the first fucking chapter. The death happens as soon as possible, because the point isn't that a character dies. The point is, hey, look at this guy who is a criminal. Let's dive into his headset. And the entire point is, like, you're being told the entire time, like, hey, he's miserable. He feels like dog shit. Like, but it doesn't line up with his behavior at all. Which doesn't make sense until you really engage with the idea that, like, the point of Crime and Punishment is to, like, delve in. Also, maybe the protagonist of the body, maybe I haven't gotten to that part. It's been a while since I've read Crime and Punishment, I'm not gonna lie. It's all about books I'm talking about, movies, it's a visual medium. But no, the same principles apply. The idea that, like that dissonance between, like, you know, what is being told and what is being shown can actually be a useful tool. Fun fact, one of the frequent things that, like, New Age writing has brought back is a character so usually it's in pathos. It's in pathos, but they'll just explicitly outline their deal. Fun fact, K-pop Demon Hunters did this very, very early on in the scene in the clinic. The clinic doctor explicitly lays out, like, okay, yes, Rumi, what is her deal? She is full of self-loathing, like, you know, like, Rumi, self-loathing, Zoe, people-pleasing, oh, I can't remember, I never remember the last one's name. But, like, it explicitly outlines their deal. Like, that is as clearly telling and not showing as you can get. But by doing so, it sets us up to see it in the future.
What are your thoughts on the curse of true immortality? You are unchanging, unaging, and
Mira,
even if
that's
you
it.
lose a body piece, you will grow it back without tissue.
I think that depends. I think that depends very much on the mentality of the person who's experiencing it. I need to read more Freyrand before I can give you a definitive answer. But, you know, Mira's thing is that she's, like, very, very abrasive, which, like, if you're watching, like, you definitely get to see that. But also, like, having that explicitly told and then, like, acknowledged later on is, like, an integral part of setting up these characters as being like, okay, yes, they have these issues, they're aware of them, they're working on improving them, but also, like, they're still people.
Still not in my prime, I have so much to do.
It's one of those things where it's like you need to understand, like, why it is a rule. The idea basically being that, like, actions speak louder than words, but also what a character says does still ultimately matter. Like, for example, if a character says that they're, like, you know, it's like, oh, I hate peace, and then every player, like, I hate fighting, and then every single scene you see them beat the fuck out of the person. Like, if done poorly, that just reads as, like, wrong button. If done poorly, that can just read as, like, the character's inconsistent. But when done well, you get to actually approach the idea And I actually think like that is my greatest point towards personally why I think video games are a like valid expression of like they're a valid unique medium, because there are certain things you can do with video games that you definitely cannot do in any other type of medium. The one that comes to mind is definitely like you can make a downtime in video games really compelling and like build a character, like build up things forward. Like I think that if you took Spiritfarer and turned it into a movie, it would not work nearly as well. Because like part of the heart-wrenching goodbyes is knowing that you're not going to see the person that you're so used to on the ship anymore. To like get back to the ship and see, like to wake up the next morning and see that the person you just said goodbye to is no longer on the ship fucking hurts every time. And you couldn't get that with movies without making it very, very boring. Because you would need to like show the in and outs daily process for every single character. Shimina is of a weird dystopic Japan where sexuality is so repressed that electric collars can detect lewd words. It's not even dirty jokes can be said without government oppression. Okay, that does sound familiar. I mean, like, you know, literally what's happening right now? Yeah. I was gonna say, it's a little bit like on the nose, given recent events. Spiritfarer would never work as a film, maybe a series of maybe a series or series of films. I think with Spiritfarer you would need to do a film for every single spirit. Every single spirit would need to be its own film in order to capture that same effect. And even then, there's still that like even then, like, you're still missing the the character interplays. Shimina came out years ago. I'm like, it's just like, and it's like, as much as I don't like the Dark Souls game, I would actually argue the same. Like, Dark Souls could not function as a movie. Like, I don't think you could make Dark Souls into a movie without making it just so fucking bizarre and uninterpretable to the people who haven't actually played it. I'd probably be better to make Spiritfarer into a 45-minute drama series. Yeah. Even then, I still feel like you're missing something. Because like you're still missing the interplay between like the characters. You're missing like how they engage with the world around them. You know, the ability to see the spirits going about their daily business, even like as you go about yours. Like the Long Man commercial. You know, like seeing them like go like, oh, I'm gonna go gather fucking like strawberries while we're on an island. Like little moments like that show a character and that you get like really, really accustomed to seeing, and then having that also, you know, be relevant in gameplay. It would be so hard to express small details like that you can use to get so intimately close to these characters that like the farewell I think wouldn't hit as hard. Like you would need, and that is ultimately the point of adaptation. Do I think you could tell a story in Spiritfarer's world using another medium? Absolutely. You just couldn't tell exactly Spiritfarer's story in another medium without losing something. And like that, and that in my mind is like the mark of a very specific, that is in my mind the mark of a medium, like one that I think is like a genuinely one that expresses art. So I'm excited for Weapons. It's such a boring scene, but the cinematography compensates, and each character represents a part of the director and the grief he went through when his friend in Kokiri of the whitest kids you know died. Such a simple concept, but everything we've seen so far seems incredibly compelling of a movie. Especially since it currently has 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. And like, don't get me wrong, like any other medium, there is times where like art does transcend the concept of fun. That's definitely the case for certain video games where like the suffering is the point. And there's a movie that's literally just 45 minutes of very slowly zooming in on a picture on the wall, in which three things happen. Someone shows up two women listen to the radio. Someone shows up and dies. A lady makes a phone on a call about how her roommate's dead. And that happens over the course of 45 minutes, where it's very slowly zooming in on the picture on the wall. Spiritual will make an amazing slice of life drama if done right. I think it could. To be fair, isn't that like more or less the concept of like Angel Beats? Like that, having not seen Angel Beats, I think that's like kind of like what is going on there, if memory serves. All right, I think this is gonna go ahead and be a natural stopping point though, because we have been going for 3 hours and my voice is a little sore, which is weird. Usually it's not sore. Hope you guys had a good time hanging out and chatting, doing art. Let's see who's live. Which of my, there we go. This is the one. Not on the Bossa Nova. I'm sorry. We get right over to Mari. I see Gala is live. We can do honestly, low key. I think Bossa Nova is like a very, very underrated. I think it's a very underrated musical genre. I think we're gonna read Mari. So go ahead and use my raid message, or using my emails or using what you happen to have. Extremely underrated that's making waves recently. That's good. I'm always down to hear more Bossa Nova, personally. And let's start the raid of Radical Mari. But anyways, if this is your first time here, I'm Starkey Morph, Big A Chaos Coding Internet, Bryce Streamer. Thank you, Mari, for interrupting into my rap spiel. Anyways, if this is your first time here, I'm Starkey Morph, Big A Chaos Coding Internet, and Bryce Streamer Library Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 7 to 10 p.m. EST. Mostly I play indie games, however, every Tuesday and Friday for the last year and a half, we learned how to do some art, so... by bias, the Spiritfarer movie would either be boring or legendary, no in between. Oh, absolutely. But yeah, if you'd like to stay up to date with the streaming, including only going live, Blue Sky is the place to be, at Starkey Morph over on that platform. Let's see. I post art that I make, as well as art that I get commissioned, general ramblings, all that good stuff. I have a YouTube if you'd like to catch one of the VODs there, see what you've been up to. Let's see. I don't have a TikTok anymore. I have a Discord if you'd like to pop in there, say hi to the Sweet Beans, see the curse code of the Sweet Beans post, and of course, oh my god, I'm looking now the art Mario's working on, and Jesus fucking Christ. She's made such incredible progress. Holy. But yeah, if you would like to pick up some coffee, exclamation mark coffee for Dragon Roast Coffee. If you use discount code StarkeyMorph at the checkout, you get 10% off and help support the stream. All right, I'm gonna send you all over to Mari. Heckin' spectacular artist, wonderful sweetheart. And I will catch you all later. I will catch you Thursday for, wait. I'm trying to think of what we're doing Thursday. Oh, Thursday is probably Deltarune Chapter 4. That's right, I remember now. Anyways, see you then. And